Morning. Good morning.
How you doing today, sir?
Hey, I'm here. I'm ready for baseball. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna talk a little bit of baseball today because baseball is back, and I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you for coming out to Sports Talk with Kamau and FElix on another wonderful, beautiful Saturday. Uh, uh, kind of feels a little strange after doing the last show in the same place, doing it separately again. Don't have quite the same flavor, but as always, we're gonna make it work, and we're gonna make it have a great show. And I want to thank you for joining us today on this March 19th, 2022. A couple days after St. Patrick's Day, as it's being celebrated in these United States, and yesterday, that not only that, the beginning of the NCAA tournament, and some great games happening, and we are literally at the halfway point of the tournament because half the teams are gone. So that's going to lead right into our first topic of the day, as selected by our wonderful fans. The topic of the week that was the winner for this week is: will a mid-major team, i.e. Houston and Gonzaga, win the men's national championship this year? Right now we have Houston still in it, Gonzaga still in it, Creighton still in it, St. Mary's, St. Peter's, and Richmond. So we're looking at 6 teams out of the remaining 32 that has an opportunity to win it. Do you think any of those teams can win it all, sir?
No. No. I mean, they look. St. Peter's knocked off Kentucky, but was that really an upset? Because Calipari can't coach, so that wasn't an upset. I mean, it is an upset, but not really. He can't coach. He can recruit, absolutely, hands down, one of the best to do it. But X's and O's and uh, the making adjustments on the fly, terrible.
I've always said that Calipari was a snake oil salesman as a coach. He gets you in the door and don't teach a whole lot. They run a very vanilla offense and even more of a vanilla defense, and they win on a lot of talent, and the talent gets them through. But like you said, when it comes to making adjustments and when the game gets tight, what are you really going to do? Those decisions don't normally get made very, very well for him. I thought so. Maybe it's much more in the beginning of his career when he had Canby, when he was at Massachusetts UMass. But once he got over to Kentucky, he had a lot more talent to work with. So that's talent win games at the end of the day. That's the there's no denying that. But in terms of him actually winning the games that he should have won,
Don't forget,
oftentimes.
don't forget he took Memphis to the championship with Derrick Rose.
That's right. That is right. That is right.
Lost
That's
to
right.
Kansas. They
That's
lost to
right.
Kansas because
I
they
forgot
would
all
have hit
about
the
that.
free throws. If Derrick Rose then would have made their free throws, they would have won the national championship. He only got one national championship, and that's
And
with
I was at
Anthony
Kentucky.
Davis.
Yeah,
Right, with Anthony Davis. And look at all the talent he done had at Kentucky since Anthony Davis.
and before
Well, yeah,
he
he can't coach.
he's had a lot of number one teams that were the number one throughout the season and come to tournament time. They did not make it. Let's see. Out of that group, I actually like Houston probably the best to win it all because Houston they're peaking at the right time. They are strong. They won their game the other night by double digit figures. Gonzaga looks good, but they to me they're Gonzaga. We've talked about them many times about them being in that league, and that league is not very strong, and
No,
they pick up all those cookies all along the way. You look at them in those preseason games, you pretty much they play a couple of good strong preseason games. They're smart about that, but you really see that team in, and you see how well that those other teams pick up against them, and how quite easily, I won't say easy because they do have the talent, how they don't have the success that they should have had last year. They probably I'm not saying they won't win it this year, but I think last year was probably their best chance of winning it
right.
with all the talent that they had, but they didn't pull it through. I actually like the coach out there, the baby face assassin, I like to call him. He's been there a while, but he still look like he's only been there a week. So
We talk about the coach for who?
for Gonzaga,
Oh, Mark Few.
Mark Few. He keep the baby face. It's like me. I have a baby face. I tell people all the time if I literally had to grow my goatee out just so people don't think I'm so young, especially when I first started teaching. So I understand his struggle. Um, can they do it though? Can Gonzaga do it? They can do it because it's one game at a time. You're not playing. You're playing one team at a time. You're not playing against the field. You're not playing 5 minutes against everybody. So they have a chance. But if I'm looking at the list, who probably has the easier role between the two, I would say Houston, and I would say that Houston is they're strong right now. They look good. They
Calvin
just
Sampson, though, nah, they ain't going nowhere, man.
you
Because you've
think
never been there. The team they had last year, I would have took over this team they got right now. Because last year you had more like you had Kelvin, you had Grimes. He transferred from Kansas. Their backcourt was kind of set. You had, you know what I'm saying? You had a winning program. You had you got Grimes from Kansas, so that was already he was in a winning program. Then you brought him aboard. That backcourt was solid. His backcourt, he ain't been in that pressure yet. That's why I would say not. I mean, if I had the chance, I would say Gonzaga out of all of them because, like I said, we said before, Mark Few will probably go down as history as one of the good coaches that just never won one because he has had talent. And it's funny how he get the talent to come to Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Like if I was playing high school ball, I wouldn't even take the trip out there. I'd be like, that's okay.
Who
Like,
wants to
don't
go to the
even
state
come.
of Washington?
Right, I'm not even going out there. I don't care what you got to offer or nothing because who sees Gonzaga? You don't see Gonzaga till tournament time, or unless they're in the Maui invitation or they in some coaches versus cancer tournament.
Cancer,
Other than that, you don't see that. I don't even know how he get the players to come there, but he does.
Yep, I agree. I don't know how they do it either, but they figure it out. They get it. They find a way. I do like his program. I've said that many times. I just wish that we remember one of our topics before was should they leave that conference and go to a higher conference, and we both were consistently saying, no, stay where you at. Go and get them dubs. And even though it's hard for anybody to win a national championship, so hopefully at some point they can. All right, we want to, as always, thank you guys for showing up. Click like, click share, get on the phone, text somebody, let them know that Felix and I are on the internets talking sports again, and we are talking, having a big discussion today. We moving right into college basketball in just a second. Right now, make sure you go out and get the book, Gratefulness Journey Every Day, written by Mr. Marcus Holmes. It is on Amazon Prime. Prime Day is coming, so you can go ahead and get this book for a low cost, really quickly at your house. And start to get your life on track in terms of getting your gratefulness and just being grateful every day. I had to check myself yesterday about some things and make sure I was grateful for what I have and not what I didn't have, just because I had to remember you don't always have what you have, but you got to be grateful for what you have so you can be where you are. So hopefully you can elevate from where you are by being first grateful for what you have initially. All righty.
Right. Understood.
Click share.
That's like yeah, I was in the bank. The lady said, "Excuse me, sir, can you help me check my balance?" And I pushed her over. I said, "Man, yeah, your balance all messed up." No, I'm playing. I'm playing, man. I'm playing. See, be grateful for that. Right? That's what I'm saying. Be grateful. Be grateful.
I thought you could be like she had $1 million.
After the show, I'm going to get counseling. Don't make me do it.
I thought you were going to say that she had $1 million and surprised you.
All right, don't pay me no attention, man. It's early in the morning.
That was funny. That was funny. All right, let's talk about the upset so far. The St. Mary's over Indiana. Indiana was a playing team, and they lost their first game in St. Mary's. Is that the school with the lady the nun? Is that the school?
The old you talking about the lady that's 102 or whatever?
Yeah.
Nah, that's so. That's not St. Mary's. That's Northwest State or something like that. Northeast West State, something like that. Yeah, that's because one was it the year before last, or it was either the year before last. Michigan played them, and they sent them. The Michigan sent them home. Yeah, okay. She like 102 or something, but she got. I mean, she know the game and everything. I was like, wow, that's a blessing.
They
That is a
interviewed her.
blessing.
When they interviewed her, it seemed like she was ready to go be a telecaster next to the people up there that was really talking about the game. Was what she was talking
Yeah,
about it.
she knows the game. 102. That's a blessing.
We had St. Peter's knock down Kentucky and Richmond over Iowa. Richmond was a 12-5. St. Mary's 12-5. And St. Peter's was a 15-2. Now, was Kentucky overrated or was St. Peter's underrated?
St. Peter's was underrated.
You think because they're such a small mid-major, they should have gotten
They
more of an 11 or a 10?
Mid-major. It's such a small mid-major, like you said earlier. Such a small mid-major. Because let's be for real. When the brackets came out Sunday, and you seen St. Peter's against Kentucky, everybody in their mind put Kentucky. Nobody gave St. Peter's a chance. That's what happened. That's why it's so fun. Why I call it March Madness. That's what's fun about it. Because if I was coaching Kentucky, I would have took every dime I had in my bank account and put it on Kentucky. And right now I'd be crying. I wouldn't be doing this show with you right now because I'd probably be homeless somewhere. But that's what makes March Madness.
Don't worry, you've just been 10 days to the next check. You've been all right.
Right, I've been right.
You still been mad though.
Need somewhere to sit just for a couple of days. Yeah, it's funny though. Like last night, I got a chance to catch the tail end of the state game. You know what's funny though? The dude that transferred from state and he went to Davidson, he was at state, Lawyer Malloy or whatever his name. Okay. I seen this guy put up more shots on Michigan State than he did his whole time at Michigan State. You see what I'm saying? So every collegiate player can't fit every system. Michigan State system didn't work for him, but he balls out with Davidson. That's funny to me. Like, is it time or is it the system? I'm gonna say it's a little bit of both.
But it's a little bit of both, definitely.
Right, because it was like they said last night. It was times they could have put Davidson away, and Davidson just hung around. Then at the end of the game, they only won by one because my man hit the three. If he would have fouled him, who knows? We would have went to overtime. Who knows? But what I'm saying is, Tom gets the best out of his players, but some players just don't fit that system.
Some people can't handle all that yelling and screaming that Tom gonna put on them.
Yeah, like I don't like coaches like that neither. You're gonna get out of me what you're gonna get out of me. What you're gonna get out of me. You can scream in my face till I turn white or whatever. That's not gonna help. You're gonna get what I. If I'm not a down low box player, you're not gonna get that out of me by yelling at me. That's just gonna make me regret it more. Because I'm like, okay, watch this. I'm about to go out here and shoot a three now. Right. Like, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Marcus Bingham, I've never been so happy to see a 4 years go so fast. I'm so glad he's gone. He's horrible. Horrible. Now you shoot threes.
I don't see the improvement out of him that I thought we would have had. I have to agree with you on that.
Man, he trash, dude. That like for real. I'm so glad this for man. Give him his diploma. Soon as this is here, you don't even gotta come to the ceremony. Man, he's horrible.
Yeah, I can tell you. Last night I turned the game on, and it was 49 seconds, and we were up 6. Some said, "Turn that game off." I quickly turned it off. I saw the score; they won by 1. I just shook my head, and of course, for first thing you see on the internet, everybody talking junk back and forth, Michigan State, and I just say survive and advance. That's just how it is this time of year. Everybody's giving their best effort. Every single body's giving their best effort. And if you win by 1, if you win by 100, it still counts as a W. Right. All right. Want to recognize Dan Williams coming out with us this morning. Thank you, Mr. Williams. We are discussing college basketball. The tournament is going on right now. I want to quickly pivot to the women's game. Yesterday, South Carolina had Howard down at halftime, 32-4, or was it 2? 32-4.
32-4.
32-4 at halftime. They said that's the lowest scoring of any half of any men or women in the history of the tournament. Now, of course, Howard is coming out of their conference. Their conference is very strong. They won their conference tournament to get there. South Carolina is arguably the best tournament, best team in either tournament, if you ask me, the boys or the girls. Dawn Staley has those girls playing at a very, very high level, but they're going to have some challenges moving forward. Was it fair, quote unquote, to put Howard versus South Carolina like that?
Yeah, it's called adjustments. Okay, Don Staley, I'm a fan. I had a crush on Don Staley when Don Staley was the point guard.
Still do.
I still do. Right. I still like. Look, if you ever decide to leave your husband, yeah, I'm available. I don't. Hey, I'm available. Yeah, I had a baby.
I'm assigned to NDA.
I had a baby. For real. I stay home and I be Mr. Mom. But no, back to for real. The task I had. Exceptional coach. She was an exceptional player, the whole nine.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, that's on Howard's coaching staff. Whatever she did, if she pressed the ball, whatever. That's where I'd say you have to learn how to make adjustments on the fly. Okay, they're pressing us. So, okay, they're out here making a statement. Instead of them, stop waiting for the trap. Soon as they come, we got a 3-on-1 break. This is why you have practice for these type of moments. You only get 5. You get 5 timeouts per half. Once they jumped out, because if they only scored 4, that means it had to have been 0 for a long time. Mm-hmm. Once you seen Don Staley was not taking her foot off the gas, make adjustments. Hey, this is what you do. We're going to go free throw extended. Don't dribble to the sideline because that's an extra defender. Yeah. Keep the ball in the middle. Every time they press, we got a 3-on-1 break.
Yeah. So
what's going to end up happening is you're going to tire Don Staley and them out, and they're going to come out the press. Now you're back into either a 2-3, a 1-3, a 1-3, or you're in a 2-3, a 3-2, whatever, man-to-man, whatever, full court press. But that's on Howard's coaching because obviously y'all not practicing that in practice. That's why they call it practice. There it is. Now, was it wrong for her to run the score up like that? Maybe. Because now it gets to the point of you're making a mockery out of my team. So does that layup go uncontested with just a foul, or do it becomes a flagrant foul because now you're taunting and now you see what I'm saying? Now you're hurting my players, or you're taking a chance on hurting your players. So at the end of the day, am I mad at her? No, because if somebody was doing it to her, she would have had to live with it.
Right. I don't see it as I was just asking the devil's advocate question. I didn't see it. I didn't think it was unfair at all for them had to play them, and I don't think the score was unfair either. It's not my job as a coach to coach your team. It's my job to coach my team and get the best out of my team. The final score they scored was 21 points total, and they scored in the 70s. I didn't think that was unfair at all. I really didn't, because from what I saw, they weren't really going after them like you would have thought they were going after them to make the score that way. They didn't make their shots, and things went very, very well for South Carolina in that first half. You feel bad for them as no matter if it's HBCU, no matter what conference they're from. I feel bad when I see stuff like that. But the culture me, the player in me says, hey, it be like that sometimes. We've all had days like that on both ends where you play really, really bad, and you in the locker room and you want to throw everything like Bobby Knight, and at halftime and you come in the locker room and you up big and you got to keep everybody even keeled to go play a second half game. So I've been on both sides of that as a coach. So it's not easy either way. And at the end of the day, the court of opinion really don't matter if you ask me, because your job is to win the game.
Then, like Robert De Niro said in Heat, two sides to that coin. What you do to somebody else can do to you. So it's not to say that South Carolina don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Let's say they beat up against Connecticut. Gino don't hold nothing.
Nope.
So if you get up and you ain't hitting shots, you think Gino or Rem are gonna be like, okay, they're not hitting shots. Let's pull up some. No, he gonna be out to make a statement also. So what you do to somebody else, in the words of Irene Holmes, you got to reap what you sow, baby. So I'm just saying. Yeah. So
on the girls' side, we got some good games, some good teams left out there. UConn, you got Iowa, you got Stanford, who's always plays well, and I forget there's one more team on the girls' side that's doing well. But speaking of teams left and good games left, for the boys, we have Gonzaga, Memphis, that is a potential upset. Memphis is
Absolutely.
playing their butts off right now, so and then they're not going to be
Absolutely.
afraid to play them. And I like that game a lot. Let's see here. We have Notre Dame, Texas Tech. That's Texas Tech should win that game, but it's a scare. It's going to be a scare. We have the Michigan State Duke game. That's going to be tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that game because last time Michigan State played Duke, they beat Duke at Duke, and they went and with the narrative, oh, it was COVID, it was a fluke that they beat us. So I want to see what's going to happen now on this neutral court. St. Mary's UCLA, that's probably one of the top games this weekend as well. Let's see here. We got Murray State Peters, St. Peter's. I like that. Two great mid-major programs. Houston, Illinois. That's going to be a great one. This weekend, Kansas, Creighton. Providence, Richmond. Let's see, in Miami, Auburn. I like that one. I like that one a lot. So we got some great college games still coming up as we move forward through this tournament on the boys and the girls side. In the tournament challenge, I didn't see a lot of people sign up. Looks like I got a couple brackets on both of them. I might look. I didn't really look at it too hard because I don't. Once I put the bracket in, my short thing is I leave it there. I don't want to go back and looking at it and crying over it. Oh, I lost this game. I lost that game. I worry about it when we get to the end because you're gonna just. Maybe it's not. I'm not much of a gambler, so it's not that big of a deal. My only thing is I want to see how many people have actually signed up. I didn't see too many people sign up, so I hope I'm not the only one who did a couple brackets. If I did, I might have to do what Joe Torre say: take the $5 out of one pocket and put it in the other, and say save my money. So
Did you see that Tom is 2-13 against him?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That is unbelievable, man. You only beat him 2 times.
I believe it's very believable. That's just like he's the same way against Bill Self. Bill Self had his number at Illinois. He's had his number at Kansas, and that's just what it. Bill Self, Mike Krzyzewski, and somebody else has beaten Tom Izzo like a drum. Was it? What's the guy? The guy was at Carolina. He beat him up a bunch of times too.
We're talking about Roy.
Roy, yep. Roy, yep. Roy had his number 2.
Wow,
yep.
2 times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's why I said, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised that Duke win it all, man. I'm telling you, it's just something because this is last year. They trying to send him out on a high horse. Don't be surprised. They be in New Orleans cutting the nets now.
This tournament, nothing surprised me, quite honestly. Nothing, but Duke has played so enigmatically this season that there was a time early in the season where they were playing consistent, but they have not done so over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So hopefully this is a good time that they do put it together. Do I want to see Krzyzewski go out on top? Why not? Why not? It's a great story for college basketball. Why not? Why not? But it's a lot of hungry teams out there that want to do well. Michigan has a great game today. Let's see who they play. They play Tennessee. They play today at 6:15 your time, 5:15 mine. That's going to be a good game. Tennessee has been playing very, very, very consistently of all the teams in the tournament. They're one of the most consistent right now. So good luck to the Wolverines, good luck to the Spartans, and good luck to the people out there, to you and your bracket. Let's see, we have Daryl Smith joining us. Thank you for coming out today, Mr. Smith. Don't forget to remind your friends to click like, click share, and get the book, Gratefulness Journey, every day. Prime Day is coming. Don't forget to get that by our wonderful leader, Mr. Marcus Hall, right here. Look at that handsome young man. Look at that handsome young man. Right there. Go and get his book. We are moving into NFL. Yes, the sweatshirt. That's right. We want to change the book jacket.
I'm gonna get him a Michigan State one for his birthday.
I'm pretty sure he has one. I'm pretty sure he does. But it might not.
He need to start wearing
it. He probably has to keep it in the back of his closet, seeing
Right.
that you're so that the niece probably won't let him wear it around the house. That's
I
probably
told
the
you, man. I don't believe she went there. I keep trying to tell you. I never seen it. I never seen it.
well, the diploma and them Greek letters say something different. So she did
You
something.
know how easy it is to make up a diploma on a computer? Man, if that's the case, I was valedictorian of Auburn University. I graduated the year with Chuck.
Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley.
I never seen it. All I did was drop off and pick up. I never seen it. I didn't even know she stayed in that room she stayed in. To be honest with you, I don't know, man.
Well, that's a very good point. Because oftentimes,
The
they don't always
University of
stay.
Misdemeanors.
Let's move forward, sir. We got NFL training camp coming up. We still got 4 months training camp. The countdown is still there. We got some off-season moves, the biggest of which we have seen. Deshaun Watson going to the Browns. Guaranteed $230 million contract. Or was it $250? $230 million contract for him to come over. He still has the civil issues going on. I still don't think it was the brightest thing for Houston to send him out a full year and pay him a full salary. The hatred must seriously be real for that to happen. Must really be real for you to sit a player who you paid that much money to do nothing all season, because they had to pay him. There was no reason for them not to. I'm glad the fact that he got a guaranteed contract going over to the Browns, because of course those civil lawsuits is going to cost him, and so he's still looking at possibly sitting out the games once the NFL weigh in on the civil lawsuits, that situation outside of the NFL. So that's a good win for him. And so, question now begets: what's going to happen to Baker Mayfield? Is he now going to be a backup? Are they going to trade him for the draft, or what's going to happen to Baker Mayfield?
If I was Baker Mayfield, I would stay there, because, like you just said, we don't know what Roger Goodell gonna do. He might get another year. Then what? You got to turn to Baker Mayfield, right? Okay, so then Baker Mayfield goes out there and balls out as a stud. Does Deshaun Watson still come take his spot?
Yes.
Because think about it. The only riff he had as far as teammates was Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham ain't there no more. Donovan Peoples-Jones ain't saying nothing bad about him. Nick Chubb ain't saying nothing bad about him. Huh?
It's been some more players that has quietly talked about their how much they don't too much like Baker in the background, but it has the only person who was public about it was Odell, and it wasn't really right. Odell, it was Odell's father.
Right. With that being said, though, you getting a new quarterback. Don't get me wrong, Deshaun Watson is a stud, absolutely. If I had to choose between Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson, of course you're gonna go with Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson been out of football for a year. We don't know what he's been doing. You know what I'm saying? He ain't been hit. He ain't been running. Baker Mayfield played last year. Now, the difference is Baker Mayfield knows that system. Deshaun Watson don't. Jarvis Landry might not be coming back. He might leave. That means who becomes the number one target? Donovan Peoples-Jones? He only got a year. See, that's what I'm saying. Would you rather have the person that's more comfortable with him, or would you try this new guy? Because that ain't like Joakim Noah said, the guy used to play for the Bulls. Ain't nobody trying to go play for Cleveland. So who are you going to land in free agency, wide receiver wise? Nobody's going to, just like ain't nobody coming to Detroit. Right. All of our stuff is made off of trades, or it was somebody who got dropped by somebody, or it's somebody you ain't never heard of. Nobody coming to Cleveland. So that's what I'm saying. If I was Baker Mayfield, I'd stay. Because, okay, now you become an NFL journeyman. Who going to pick you up? Atlanta? No. The Saints? No. You're not coming here. You going to back up golf? No. Stay there.
I hadn't thought about that. But I think in his mind, he's expecting to leave. He did send a cryptic tweet out the other day about thanking the city of Cleveland. So I think in his mind, once he heard before it was announced that Deshaun was coming, that he was probably on his way out. But You never know. Like you said, you never know. It's probably now think about it. It's probably is in his best interest to stay
To
in
stay.
Cleveland.
Ain't
Why
nobody
not?
saying, "Ooh, Baker Mayfield available." Come on, man.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? You going to go to the Steelers?
Nah.
No. You going to
Now
go to
they just
Seattle?
picked up Trubisky, which I think is a good move.
No, that was a dumb move.
And
You should
here's
have left
why.
Mitch. You should have left Mitch where he at. Mitch can't do nothing.
Mitch, in my opinion, was never a bad quarterback. The
He ain't a
system that
good
he
one
played
either.
in, I agree. He like this. You put the right people around him, as long as he don't have to win it for you, he's fine. Give him the right people, and so they can manage the game around him. Trubisky's fine. I never thought Trubisky was a bad quarterback. Never in the day. In the time he was there, in the 3 years he was in Washington, not Washington, in Chicago, he made it to the playoffs and he had a positive record. So Trubisky things weren't really all that bad.
Yes, they were. Yes, they
I
were.
think the perception of Trubisky was much better than his abilities. So hopefully he can get a fresh start in Pittsburgh. And because the thing about Pittsburgh, they're gonna make sure you have what you need around you, and that's one thing I can say about them. Pittsburgh that's probably that's one of the reasons why they're one of the top franchises in the league because they're steady. They don't bend with the wind. So they are even though they're in their position now where they need something long term, they may play the short term for the long term, seeing as that there's not really a quote unquote a long term quarterback in this year's draft.
No.
Uh, we got Russell Wilson to the Broncos, Devontae Adams to the Raiders. That I think that's pretty funny. That Devontae Adams is going to the Raiders. Uh, to me, there should have been a meeting in the middle between uh, what's our favorite person on the Stupid Sports News, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams had to leave to get the money. Aaron Rodgers stayed and got his money. So now, what are they going to do in terms of filling in those holes for what they need to go continue to move forward with Green Bay? I know that Green Bay is they always find a way to put some players on the field, but it's going to be a little bit
Right.
more difficult now, paying all that money to our favorite person that we keep in Stupid Sports News. Uh, Wilson to the Broncos. Is that a good move for him? I would have hoped that he would have went to an indoor team so he can play a little bit, extend his career a little bit further with somebody like New Orleans or Atlanta. But I think in terms of personnel, that was a great move for him because they don't. Because if you have the coach in New Orleans, you go to New Orleans. He's retired for a year or so at least before he quote unquote make his way to Dallas. So that seems like that's what that plan is. So that's a good move for Russell Wilson. In
Oh,
the he can go to Denver and get high in high altitude uh, since it's legal now in the
no.
NFL. All righty. We want to thank Carl Williams for coming up this morning, Nicole Harris, and Bilal Muhammad. Thank you for joining us this morning. Don't forget to click like, click share, and tell your friends to come check us out this morning. It's March 19th. And make sure you get your book, Gratefulness Journey, every day. Go on Prime, look up the name Marcus Holmes, and you can like his name, save his name in Amazon, and get the book and tell all your friends about it. Tell them to get it as well. We are moving out of our NFL segment into the NBA. The NBA, believe it or not, has 12 games left. That season has moved very, very, very quickly. 12
Yes,
games.
man.
12 games. And I looked at that yesterday and I said, wow. And this for the first time, what I consider in a long time, it's been more competitive in a long time in the NBA from the beginning. Normally, you see the competitive pickup after the All Star break, but these boys they earning their money, so to speak, this year. So right now we got the top six with the Heat, Bucks, 76ers, Celtics, Bulls, Cavaliers. Within that, in the eighth spot, uh, there's been a little bit of movement. The Heat has been pretty much stayed there. The Bucks moved up 2 spots. The Bulls moved down 2. They had a little bit of adversity over there with some injuries, and DeRozan has just been he's been Superman, putting them on his back, and he has been playing consistent. They've been playing consistent all year. It seemed like they said last year, okay, we went to the championship of the bubble. Last year we didn't do as well as we like, but this year we gonna show what we got. They've been doing that. The Celtics are playing better. Mr. Love Jones got them playing a lot better than what they were before. The coach for I can never say that man's name. I don't want to mess his name up. I always call him Mr. Love Jones because he's his significant other is Nia Long. Let's see, 76ers are playing great right now. That trade has worked out so far. That 2-man game between Embiid and Harden has shown greatly. I saw some of the highlights last night. That boy Joel, he's playing like he's playing like he's supposed to. I've been a big fan of his, but I'm not gonna say what I call him this week. Hopefully I won't have to say that no more about him. He bring home a title. The Cavs, they look good. The Cavaliers looking good as well. These top 6 teams going into the playoffs will start today. They were not playing the play-in games. But I don't want to discuss them playing teams until we actually get there because that keeps changing so much. How you feeling about the East so far, sir?
I think at the end of the day it's gonna be the Bucks because the Heat they ain't gonna do nothing. It look good right now, but when once the playoffs come, everything gonna slow down. It ain't gonna be that fast paced. You're just gonna get out on the wings. But other than that, it ain't gonna be like everybody thinking it's gonna be. And then the sleeper would be Cleveland. Cleveland would be Atlanta this year or New York this year coming in because ain't nobody really paying attention to them. But you're gonna need to pay attention to them because you're gonna have to get over them to get to the next round. I think that's gonna be the sleeper.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. I was hoping that the Bulls wouldn't have dropped as far as they have, but every team, no matter what the season, what the sport is, at some point they have a swoon. This seems like the Bulls are having their swoon, as well as the Nets. Nets have some injury issues, but they're getting healthy and they balling a little bit. I can't wait to see the addition of Mr. I'm not playing no more for Philly. I can't wait to see him out there with him.
As a middle name, I'm not playing no more for Philly.
No, I couldn't remember his name that fast. It escaped my mind. Ben Simmons. I hope that change of scenery is going to work well for him. I think so far it has. Even though he hasn't been on the court, you hear his teammates talk about how they went to Philly and jumped on Philly. KD says, "Hey, if we beating y'all butts, y'all can't be booing Ben." So if he's been embraced like that so far, I think that's going to be a good thing moving forward. He's going to want to go out there and play with his teammates and win some games. So I'm looking forward to that because we talked about that before. I said that's short term. It's going to go well for the 76ers, long term for the Nets. So in terms of the winning of the trade, I can't see the ones probably going to win the trade. I just think they're going to work out equally for both teams, but just in different directions. Western Conference, we got the Suns, Grizzlies, Warriors, Jazz, Mavericks, and the Nuggets, and our Lakers are in ninth place. Reason why we say the Nets and the Lakers because those are our preseason picks to win it all, and not, the Nets are in eighth, and the Lakers are in ninth place, respectively. The Suns, I apologize to them again. I thought they were just a shine for a minute from last year. And they serious. They come back and they're playing great. The Grizzlies, led by Ja Morant, who hopefully is okay. He got hurt a little bit last night. Warriors, Steph Curry. Is Steph Curry done? He done for the year? Did you see what happened?
Yeah, I caught a highlight about when him and Marcus Smart. I don't think it was intentional. I think it was just two competitors going for a loose ball. And he just unfortunately got rolled up under him. If he's out a significant amount of time, it can hurt them because my man supposed to come back Monday. That means he gonna be running the point. That ain't gonna work, man. They can easily go from 2 to 7 just like that with no step.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, with 12 games left, it can easily happen. We got the Mavericks who are playing well, Nuggets, and the Jazz. It seems like every year the Jazz and the Nuggets, they're just consistent. They just right here, no flash, no pizzazz. But they're right there in the playoffs every year, and they're doing what they normally do. The Mavericks, they're not playing too bad. They got beat last night by the 76ers, and Luka Doncic played some fantastic Ole defense. Ole and let Joel Embiid go by him and dunk on him a couple of times. But that's not what he does. Doncic don't play defense. He's never been known as a defensive player. He put his hands up in the zone and then stretch his arms out. But he's not going to turn to shutting somebody down. No, that's not what he's going to do.
No, that's not his thing.
Our beloved Pistons are 19-51 on the season, 4-4 since our last show. Now let's go back. Now let's go. I've been charting this. I started charting them at 7-32, then 11-34, 12-40, 13-45, 16-47, now to 19-54. So I do see the improvement. More so, and not necessarily with the losses, but the size of the losses. The losses have been pretty much under 10 points, where they were losing by 30 and 35 and 25 consistently. I forgot to write that guy's name down that they brought in at the trade deadline. I think he has been a force with them in the locker room, a positive force in the locker room, getting them to understand, hey, we got to play more than just the first 6 minutes of the first quarter. But they are doing.
Talking about Marvin Bagley?
Yes, Marvin Bagley, yes. Sometimes things that people do don't always show up in a score sheet, and I think that's one of them. One of the things that he has done. Of course, there's a bunch of teams that you wouldn't necessarily think that a role player is the one who's keeping the team together, but it happens all the time. Pat Bev kept the Clippers together for many years.
Who?
Pat Beverly.
Wow.
His leadership and the fact that he will go out on the court and do what it takes for them to win, let the other guys on the court know, hey, I got this part. Y'all gonna handle y'all. That force on the team goes a long way. That kind of leadership does go a long way. Whether we want to acknowledge it as such, but it's Marvin Bagley is since Marvin Bagley has joined the team, which was what right when they were about 16 or 13-45 after the break or something like that. They've gone. Let's see here. What's that?
6 more games.
They won 6 more games, and they're right at about 500. A little under 500 since he joined the team. Well, before they were just out there. You remember what I said? I would only keep Stewart, Cade, and Olenek. I would got rid of the rest of them jokers. But since Bagley's got there, they've been playing, and they may not have won. They've won. Okay.
How many records did the Jackson 5 sell? Over like 1 million. And then when Michael left, how many records did they sell then? None. That's what I'm saying, man. None, man. Ugh. That team downtown is a dumpster fire, man. You have an owner that don't care. He comes every blue moon and shoot T-shirts in the stands, man. Just I can't do it. I can't do it, man. They horrible.
Well, I'll stand on what I'm saying. I see the improvement and moving forward.
6 games.
Well, no, I'm not saying the wins. I'm saying how they're losing. It's different between when they were losing by 25, down by 40 in the third quarter, as opposed to now where they're competitive going down the stretch and losing because of effort, not losing because they're not ready to take the next step, as opposed to just giving it away like some bad girl on prom night. So it's a little different. All right, we want to acknowledge Kent Abu Assad, excuse me, if I mess your name up. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us to the wonderful and fantastic Miss Valencia Edner. Thank you for your presence this morning. We do appreciate it. We are moving into the final segment of the day, which is our stupid sports news. All right, thank you for that fantastic music and lead in. The first thing on the on the Stupid Sports News docket is KD Ray Allen feud seems to have been subsided and worked out because Ray Allen showed up at KD's jersey retirement in Boston this week. It was a good thing to see. Him showed up when he showed up like that. It was reports ahead of the game that Ray Allen may be there, and when he showed up, it was to me. It was funny to me. Why? The reason why it was funny because it wasn't that long ago at the All-Star game when Ray Allen walked in and KD face. You know, he do his chin. He wiped his face. As soon as I saw it, that's the only thing I could think about was the picture of him with him wiping his face when Ray Allen showed up and spoke to LeBron. And you could just tell that, you know, the street and Kevin wanted to go over there and
have a little talk with him.
Right.
Yeah, have a little talk with him. Yeah.
But, you know, you could tell he knew not the time, not the place. They worked it out. I got a feeling that weekend that it was a door on one side and a door on the other, and somebody stuck them in a room together and locked the doors and wouldn't let them out till they talked about it. Or, you know, somebody broker talk, say, hey, y'all got to work this out. The stuff like Isaiah do in the background, even though he get a bad rap for a lot of stuff he do keep up some stuff. He keep up some stuff. Don't get me wrong. But he's still good for trying to make the peace in a lot of situations. I think him or Shaq has something to do with, hey, I played with both of y'all. All right, fellas. Okay, let's go ahead and work this out. And you could Ray Allen talked about how they were able to, you know, have some conversations during the All-Star weekend. And so to me, it was stupid of them to take it so long. You're gonna have disagreements. You're gonna have disagreements, but at the end of the day, y'all, you know how we call it in sports: blood, sweat, and tears. Blood, sweat, and tears. You work hard with your brother. Y'all laugh, cry, work hard. They won a championship together. It was unnecessary for it to go that long.
Absolutely.
That's my only point. It was, you know, I'm not saying don't have a beef, but at some point, hey, come on now. How do we fix this? Now that led me to this question. Will there ever be a day where the Isaiah Jordan war will ever end?
Nah, because Mike's still bad. Mike's still bitter. Mike's step is this. Mike's tone is, I'm the greatest. They call me the GOAT. I'm in this equation to being the GOAT, and you won't acknowledge that. But Isaiah has acknowledged that. Isaiah was like, Michael is Michael that guy. But Michael wasn't my competition. See, so it's like you playing both sides of the fence. So that's where Mike's beef is. Isaiah beef is, you wasn't my competition. Every time you came up against me, I put you out. And y'all want to keep saying this Detroit and Chicago rivalry. At the end of the day, his championships were won with people from my pedigree. You ain't got Rodman. You ain't got Sally. You ain't got James Edwards. There it is.
Yep. The people that I trained.
I don't think they'll ever be able to sit down because it's one is not going to let go of the other.
Right.
Do they need to sit down?
Nah. I don't think that but he did say that they had dinner, right? You know, like a couple months before the documentary came out. So he didn't know that. He felt like he hated him.
It's a lot of people that don't like me, and there's a lot of people that I don't like. But if you invited me to dinner and you were paying, sure, I'll go. I gotta eat. I have to eat.
You
Sure.
see, as long as they paying for it.
Long as when they bring the check, you say, no, I got it. Because I'm not gonna reach in my pocket. I'm not even making no attempts to reach. You invited me. I was fine sitting at home watching Sports Center eating a Greg's pizza. Well, they need to come out here. Like the difference between Isaiah and Jordan as opposed to Magic and Isaiah. Magic and Isaiah were actually friends.
Yeah.
So they had to sit down. Michael Jordan and Isaiah were never friends.
Yeah. And I don't like the fact that Magic played both sides of that fence. That bothers me.
He had to. At the end of the day, he had to. I was in the middle. I was leaving. Michael was the new face of the NBA. Isaiah wasn't. Okay. Was it wrong for Isaiah to not pass the torch to Michael? Yes. But did Larry Bird pass the torch to Isaiah? No. So why would he? It was wrong. Absolutely. I mean, you could have did it and not even meant to do it. You couldn't even have no heart behind it. Okay, but pass the torch. And then Mike made the comment, the Pistons were bad for basketball. They were bad for NBA. Okay, yeah, but I just beat you. Now, and then Mike's argument was, okay, yeah, you beat me, but you never swept me. I swept you. So it's always going to be a tit for tat.
Right.
And then when you go by 75 of the greatest, who name? Isaiah name ain't coming up in no barbershop talk. Michael Jordan name is. Mike got 6. Isaiah got 2. Last time I checked, 6 is greater than 2.
Yeah, I can tell you, I will always my favorite player is probably my 2 favorite players ever is Isaiah Thomas and Buck Williams. Buck Williams
Who?
was Buck Williams. That's right.
Who?
Buck Williams. That's right. From New
Is the
Jersey
show
and
over?
from Milwaukee. Why? One, he was last name was Williams. His last name was Williams. 2, he was that blue collar guy who went out and worked hard every game. You never heard him complain. He went out and gave his best. Was a double machine, and I think he needs more accolades. But my other favorite player, he ain't getting none. He was close.
How many All-Star games he played in?
He played in a few, 1 or 2.
What's a few? 2, 1, 3. What's a few?
1 or 2. But that's my favorite because he was the blue collar guy. I always consider myself a hard-working blue collar guy. Yeah.
What that TV show? Oh no, that was Buck Rogers.
No, Uncle Buck. Buck Rogers, Uncle Buck.
Buck Williams. Man.
Yeah, he was the blue collar guy. That's what
you better watch your back. Why? Buck Williams is looking for you. Buck Williams. Hey, who's on the phone? Buck Williams.
The point I'm making is Jordan is probably the greatest of all time. I have to give him that. But he's not my favorite player. My favorite player is Buck Williams and Isaiah Thomas. And Marcus says his is him and Dr. J. And Dr. J is third. Coming up, Marcus says Isaiah Thomas and Dr. J. Coming up behind me, behind them 2 is Dr. J. For me, Dr. J is my third favorite. Because to me, to this day, I can watch Fish That Saved Pittsburgh anytime, any day or night. You turn that movie on. I'm watching Set Shot. I'm watching The Twins. I'm watching Dr. J out there killing them. Then that movie is still one of my favorite movies. He's still stuck on the Buck Williams.
On next show, in April 2nd, next show, we'll have guest starring Buck Williams. Man, you know how
if we get Buck Williams on the show, man, you know how happy I'd be. I probably wouldn't be to ask a question. I'd be a fanboy.
You get Buck Williams on this show, I quit. You don't got to fire me. I quit.
You better be right here with some questions. I don't want to hear it. Better be right here with some questions. Thank you, Mr. Nat Green and Sandra Beavers for joining us this morning. As we are wrapping up, we still got a few more people we're going to talk about in our Stupid Sports News. Baseball is back, and they are on track to start on time. They're playing now. There's been a few spring training games that's been going on. They're not locked out anymore. So I'm glad to see that. So baseball will be back on time. So I know one of our questions was, do we even care that baseball is back? I do, because baseball was right next to soccer was my first love when it came to sports. I wanted to be a Parrish. I wanted to be the long time catcher for the Tigers. I wanted my number to be 13, just like him. He was my favorite. No, Lou Whitaker was my favorite. Lou Whitaker was my favorite baseball player. But I wanted to be Parrish because I was left-handed, and when you're left-handed, you can't play second base. That's why I wanted to be the catcher.
I see all this is starting to make sense now. I'm learning more and more from you every show.
Of course.
Buck Williams, Lou Whitaker.
Lou Whitaker. Lou Whitaker's the man.
Who?
Lou Whitaker was the man. They're retiring his jersey this year. He's going up on the wall in Comerica Park. If I can get tickets to that game, I will fly in town just to see it happen.
You probably can go outside and stand on your porch and see him drive by your house. Lou Whitaker, Buck Williams. Who is your favorite football player? Mike Dicker?
Come on, man. That's Barry Sanders. That's easy.
Oh, okay. Now we bringing you back a little bit. Okay.
Barry Sanders, of course.
He said Buck Williams and Lance Parrish.
Lance Parrish, yeah, because when you grew up, you see the '84 Tigers win the championship, and so
I thought you would have said Chet Lemon or Kirk Gibson.
Chester Earl, Chet Lemon, he was one of my favorites too. Kirk Gibson,
I even would have took Jack Morris.
Jack Morris, yeah, I like Jack Morris. He's Guillermo Hernandez, Willie Hernandez. He's one of my Willie Hernandez, the relief pitcher.
Look. I used to work at Farmer Jack. It was a guy that looked just like him. I thought that was him.
Might have been him.
The shopping cart to you. I thought that was him.
Tell the truth, as much money they make it back in those days, it might have been him. Seriously, they did not make a lot of money back in those days. So a lot of those guys had second jobs.
Them contracts now are ridiculous.
That's why they locked them out. And it goes right back to what we were talking about. That's why the owners locked them players out. It wasn't the players. Yeah. The players can only take what the owners give them. So for me, so that bothers me when I hear those owners lock them out. Aaron, we already talked about Aaron Rodgers with that super stupid contract. Am I happy for him? Yes. You get what you can get out of them because they're going. There's plenty of players who can barely move. All those years they played in the NFL. And back problems, and got to go to chiropractor, and got to do different stuff. One guy I know personally who played in the NFL for the Lions, he told me I can't sleep unless I take the CBD, or other than that, I will be in the and laying in bed up all night, and my wife will be mad at me because she can't sleep because I can't sleep, and that's a true story. So pay them guys, and they don't want to. The NFL don't want to do right by them, but that's a whole nother show, another day. We have one thing to report. John Clayton, the longtime reporter for ESPN, he passed away the other day, and so rest in peace to that young man. And he was one. I like watching him. If he said something, it was something worth reporting on. And there's another guy now that Schefter. Schefter's sort of like the new Clayton. But I like Clayton's style a little bit better. It was just to me. He just seemed more professional, and he didn't seem like he chose sides. Where a lot of those guys now, their opinion. Where he just brought the facts. He was old school. These are the facts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and close out the show. We want to thank you so much for coming out. Don't forget to get the book. Click like, click share. Tell your friends they can still go back and watch it. As a matter of fact, I went back and watched the last show. Thank you, Marcus, for that great intro. I don't know where you found that Delta stock footage from, but that was pretty cool. Me flying into Detroit, that was really, really cool. Driving on 994. I like that a lot. The next show is April 2nd, and we will have our topic of the week posted by March 23rd. Hopefully by that day. I do apologize. I didn't get the last one up till Friday, a week ago Friday. It was a little bit tougher to find topics. Other than the things we normally we're going to be covering, but I'm going to keep working hard to make sure improve the show and make the show better. Thank you once again. Thank you, Mr. Holmes, and thank you, Mr. Holmes, for coming in, making another great show. And you guys have a wonderful and safe day wherever you are, and make sure and hopefully your team will win the championship. See you on April 2nd.
April 2nd.